Okay. Become good. Okay. All right. Already. Good morning, everybody. I don't know what's up. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I mean, I just decided to come up here. Not too bad, 8 o'clock. A little early. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to look for something I want to talk about real quick, so give me a minute. Okay. Alright, so let's kill some time a little bit here, because before we get to the meat and potato of things. Okay, so Bitcoin has been on the run. So of course I was wrong that I thought it was gonna pull that kind of drop down in price before it goes up. But I think like the dynamic of the ETF and all that stuff, I feel like it's a little bit different than the last cycle. So perhaps that's why it's like that, right? So it's hard to predict this type of things. Obviously, the quote-unquote black swan events and all that stuff could still be in play. People talking about March 11 being one of those like a liquidity shortage type thing, where the Fed is not going to be lending money, emergency lending for the bank anymore. And so when that happened, people are predicting that it might pull back the stock market. And of course, liquidity is not in there, and that's why like it's fitting too that the billionaire out there, that they are kind of shave off some of their position. And so that's why you have to sometimes has to copy these type of people, because they know a lot more information about. I wouldn't be surprised that they've been buying into Bitcoin as well. Honestly though, I don't think they would be buying it at this price, because institution has their way of it's like a distributing the asset. Yes, white cough distribution trading thing. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but if not, oh well. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's look at the price right here. If you look at this real quick. Oh, hi Henry Balls. I don't know who you are, but welcome. A good recession is great for AMC. Why are you pumping AMC? You know what AMC is, right? I hope you do, but if not, learn. It's not a good investment, but if you want squeezed or whatever, I don't think it's gonna happen, honestly. But if you want a good investment over the long-term time period, I think GameStop is it. But again, I'm biased here. Okay, so let's look at the Bitcoin price real quick. So of course we have reached the previous all-time high, but this is the run before the all-time high for Bitcoin, so it's right around there. $64,000 right there. So we reached that already in a brief moment, and of course it's kind of pulled back there. So again, like I was wrong, because I thought it was gonna drop over here, right, or even over here. And so I don't know, please don't make any trade based on this. I'm just like looking at where the all-time high is, which is up here, around $69,000 right there. So yeah, it could blow right through there, just like how it did over here. But again, like if you look at the RSI, so let's look at the RSI real quick. And it might be not trading based on fundamental either, so be careful on that as well. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to kill some time here, because might be a few more people coming in. Okay, so if you look at the RSI, it's high. So when that happens, usually there will be a pullback. But over here, there's no pullback, so it could just be keep on going on like crazy. What is the highest RSI here? So see over here, it's so weird though. Sometimes I just can't, again, technical doesn't really, but this is a daily candle though. So even over here, RSI wasn't that high and it still pulled back, right? So we're in a dangerous territory, so to speak, in terms of overbought condition. But like I said, over here it's overbought condition, but Bitcoin still go up as well. So yeah, just be careful, honestly. If you buy at the top here and they drop, at one point it was dropping by $5,000, right? In one move, in one candle. So be careful on those wicks as well. You might get and that's why this is an accumulative type of asset, right? You buy it and then you hold it for 10 years type thing, right? Because again, the price movement is gonna give some people a heart attack here. Henry, thank you. What's AMC? You're not very smart saying it's not a good investment. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Why do you think AMC is a good investment? Can you tell me, please? Run in conjunction. I used to think the same thing. Do you watch Moran's? Harry Balls? You need to study more. Okay, what do I need to study about AMC? I love a good information here. So if you could tell me why I should invest in AMC. I know you are in the camp of AMC is the same as GME, right? Do you read the balance sheets when you invest in AMC, or you just invest in it because you think it's gonna run, or you think that it runs the same way as a GME? So yeah, give me some reason why you think AMC is the same as GME. Lionel. BMO is very knowledgeable of GME. AMC is in bankruptcy. What do you keep asking the same question? No, I think, again, I study this a lot as well. And when you come in here and you think that I don't study, that's fine. That's on you, because you're here new, right? I wouldn't say I'm very knowledgeable. Of course, I'm learning as I go, but to me, a long-term investment, a good investment, weren't a good company based on its balance sheets, right? And so if you think that AMC is a better investment or the same investment, you better have some numbers to go with it, right? I'm not knocking on it. If you want to invest in AMC, go ahead. That's your money, right? You might have some reason that I don't know. I'm just curious what those reasons are. There are people who come in here who thinks that I'm stupid for investment, for putting money on GME, right? So does that make it true? It's not. And just because you invest in AMC and you try to come in here saying that AMC is the best company, I have questions. That's all I'm saying. I have my opinion on AMC. I've studied it myself too, and I just think it's a way for people to be like, oh, AMC is the same as GME, so they're gonna run the same way and all that stuff, trapping people into thinking that they are the same when they're not. So yeah. Alright, so let's sorry, I'm sidetracked here. So my thought here is the altcoin's gonna run like wildfire over here because anytime the dominance of Bitcoin has been kind of creeping back up, not by much though, it's still kind of like within that range of 51% there. And so I think when people are taking profit on Bitcoin, usually altcoins are running. And just so you know too, like there's a coins out there that is called GME coin. GME stop coin or something like that. That they're gonna try to pump it, right? And I don't know, like it could be because before earnings and all that stuff, it's gonna get people excited about the whole thing. But again, those are pump and dump coins, and it doesn't have any value, so to speak, right? Just be careful, when you get into this space. If you don't understand how the crypto market trades, just make sure that you know that before you put money into it. Even the most seasoned traders out there could get wrecked over here. I'm a more of a long term, and I have an account that I do trade with, and I just can't beat the algorithm and all that stuff unless I hold it for a long term, right? And so that's why I learned not to trade, because to become so antsy, and then you can't beat the computer. Like what most people don't realize is that you're trying to beat the computer here, and nobody can. The algorithm's it's like they know who you are before you even, to the point where you're like, how long are you staring at this ticker here before you, pull the trigger type thing, right? And so you need to be aware of that. And so that's why trading is not for everyone. Yes, you might be able to beat the algorithm if you know how to read it, if you know how to do all that things. Yes, of course, do it. I'm not deterring you from trying to learn how to trade here. All I'm saying is just be careful on those type of coins here. XRP, I've talked about it before. I do have some of that coin. Of course, like just a couple thousand here. Not much, but I do feel that this coin has been kind of beat down the last cycle, so this cycle is going to be a lot. You're going to experience even higher than this. So I don't know, if you've been accumulating this one, congratulations. And of course there's another runs coming too. Really depends on what's going on with the lawsuit and all that stuff. So that's that. To me, I think it's a pretty good asset to kind of at least pay attention to, because of the lawsuits and all that stuff. It's the biggest one. Of course, people don't want to pay attention to that. They rather, pay attention to what the media is telling you to do, or pay attention to. Okay, so it seems like that's all I'm gonna get as an audience. So let's just move on to the meat and potato of this boring live streams. Okay, so of course people were mentioning AMC, so I just want to preface this ahead of time. I don't have any position in AMC, short neither long. I used to, but I closed it like months ago. I didn't make much profit. I had some put option, and I think I made $20 on it or something. Not much at all. But again, I don't have it currently, so it doesn't mean that I won't start any new position or anything like that. I just want to preface this ahead of time here, so that I have no bias towards that. But the only bias I have is the balance sheets over here. It doesn't look very good. If you look at the fact that it's been reverse stock split and kind of like devalue the shareholder equity time and time again, and on top of that you have a CEO that just came out on the earnings call blaming everybody else but himself, right? And of course boasting about how he's been beating the markets and all that stuff, meaning like the industry that he's like movie theater, he's been beating expectations and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, but the fact that they're unable to cover the interest, right, barely covering the interest payment, that is a very dangerous thing. And on top of that, look, the trailing 12 is still $400 million in the negative. That's bad, right? You don't want the trailing 12 to be this low. And so they're not making any money at all. This last quarter that they just posted, let me see, Moran's did a whole bunch of video that is way more in depth than I'm looking at here. Now of course they're able to kind of make it the net income's kind of coming down. At least they're not losing too much here. So if you tell me that this is a good investment, I would wait at least, right, to buy into it. But again, to me, leadership is not a good leadership, right? When you have leadership that comes out and I don't know, I just don't like leadership in general. So it doesn't really matter. Let's say you have a good earnings and they're making billions of dollars, I still would not invest in a company like this, because again, I don't like the leadership at all. It's harmful anyway. But and of course the media is over here trying to pump it up too. Zombie stock list. Okay, let's listen in. I have a feeling they might mention GME in this too.
David Traynor, CEO, New Constructs, and Alicia Reese, Vice President of Equity Research, Wedbush Securities. Thank you both for being with us. David, I want to start with you. You have this, you call this a zombie. AMC is on your zombie list. What's the basis for that? Is it still a zombie stock to you, and why?
It's still a zombie stock because the underlying business model is effectively broken. It's never really going to be a very profitable company, and it doesn't have a lot of cash to survive forever at its burn rates. And the valuation is outrageous. I mean, it's still implying some huge percentage of box office market share that really never been achieved in the history of the business. And so, yeah, we think the stock's got a long way to go before it hits bottom. We think it goes to zero, especially when you consider all the debt out there. Unless unsuspecting investors continue to buy the stock, the apes or whatever they're willing to sell you. As long as people are willing to do that, it can maybe go on forever. But we hope that people are wising up.
All right, Alicia, I want to get your thoughts on the latest quarterly results. You have a neutral rating on AMC and a $6 price target. Stock is under pressure today.
Wait, a $6 price target? Huh? I think she slipped there. She meant like GME is a $6 price target.
Trading below $5 a share. So what's your take on their latest numbers?
Yeah, there's certainly some puts and takes on the quarter specifically. It was a tough quarter with the SAG-AFTRA strikes pushing some titles out of the quarter. It would have been left for dead, but AMC was able to actually bring in Taylor Swift and Beyonce concert films, and as distributor, they got pretty significant market share. They also got really great film rent rates. The payment splits between the concert movies because they were not studios. They got significantly better rates from them and as a distributor. So the quarter was actually pretty decent on a market share perspective, and they actually earned on EBITDA. But you look at free cash flow, and they lost 150 million in the quarter. So that's not sustainable, and obviously they need to continue issuing shares. The shareholders are not pleased with that, so that drops. But they have over $3 billion in debt coming due in the next 3 years that they have.
So they're saying GME has a $6 price target. Not GME, sorry. AMC.
To either pay down, renegotiate, or obviously some combination of that. They're not going to have the cash to pay $3 billion in the next 3 years, so they're going to extend some of those maturities, pay down as much as they can, issue shares. Shareholders are not going to like that, and shares are going to continue to drop for a bit. But I don't think that it's necessarily a broken model. I do think with the share gains and as the volume of content comes back, they do have a way forward. They just have to really try to find line.
So, Alicia, I want to just ask you a follow-up. What's that way forward then? If you say it's not a broken model, what is the way forward?
Well, they continue to shutter their underperforming theaters, which they have been doing. As all the leases have come up for renegotiation, they drop the leases on underperforming theaters. They had far too many in their footprint. So here and there, they're picking up some high-performing assets. But more importantly, the performing assets that they have in their portfolio are the ones that have the premium large format screens and premium amenities. One of the things they did on distributing Taylor Swift and Beyonce films is they really expanded their merchandise sales. So that's also a high margin venture. They're doing a lot more with food and beverage. I think you saw with Dune, they had some kind of wild things going on with the popcorn buckets. It gets a lot of attention. It just helps their numbers overall. If they continue to do these market share gaining activities, that can help them as that volume really ramps up. And I think you'll see them gain some more market share on events like Dune 2 because it is a huge IMAX film, and AMC has the largest footprint of IMAX in North America. So things like that will help
David,
them.
Sorry.
It's so curious to me too that wet bush now. It's kind of like, see, wet bush. Okay, so just imagine. We know this. Like wet bush is not good. Analysts because they do have a forecast, right? This is the one that gives GME a $6 target. So now they give AMC a $6 target as well, and saying that they're actually doing a little bit better than expected. Of course, now shareholders going to be diluted to oblivion, right? Even more, because again, they need cash, right? Currently, if you look at the most recent one here, they do need cash pretty bad. But look at this. Okay, they might be able to survive another couple of years here, right? But not without shareholder having to pay for it, right? So what looks promising to me a little bit, I'm not saying don't buy this, okay? I'm not saying to buy this or whatever, is this right here, right? The fact that they did increase shareholder equity a little bit, but it's still in the negative though, And so I don't know, again, whether they could close down those stores or those movie theaters that are not profitable, I don't know. I thought they have uncancelable loan or something like that, or uncancelable lease, and so they might not be able to. And if they do, they're going to need more capital to close those out with penalty, right? And they don't. They simply do not have cash to do that. And again, like the fact that Wet Bush over here is kind of like out there promoting in this segment right here, it's kind of curious to me, right? And so that's all I need to know about, this company. Of course, this company is always tethered with, GME. Like you have people like this coming and say they run the same way. Well, there's a reason why. They want AMC to drag down the name of GME down, right, with it. And so if you'd understand that, then you wouldn't be touching this company at all. Because again, it's like everything that GME is hoping for, okay, everything that AMC hoping for, GME already got. GME has no debt, has cash on hand, to last them forever if they wanted to. Not only that, they are going to thrive, right? When we're going back to the economy. No low inflation, high employment, and all that stuff, right? When we're thriving again. Right now, the reason why they have been closing down stores and it decreased the footprints is because they're waiting. I mean, they were preparing for this moment right now where you hardly has any demand, right? The demand is not there. The real demand out there I'm talking about, right? And so when the economy is ready to go the other way, GME is going to be setting up for a massive success. It already has been, right? For 3 years. And so, for you to be in AMC still, you're going to have to wait at least 5-6 years if they even, go that far. Because the massive amount of debt, it's going to drag them down, right? While GME has this, look, I don't know how people could just say, GME is the same thing as AMC. It's just night and day to me. Like, if you think AMC is the greatest, then GME is way better. Way. Not even close to way better. 1,000 times better. GME is not a bankrupt. It's in bankruptcy at all. They have $1 billion in the bank. 1 billion? Yes, but they have $8 billion in debt. Don't you understand that? Please stop lying, You look like a fool to people like me in the know. Okay. Well, okay, let's look at the balance sheets real quick. I know they have $1 billion in the bank, right? But how much do they need to operate the expenses? The operating expenses? Well, let's look at it together. So, we're not lying when you say this company has the potential for bankruptcy, right? Okay. Do you know that they've been diluting for a long time? When did you start your position, if you don't mind me asking? You don't have to share, but have you been buying since before the reverse stock split or just now? If you buy it just now, perhaps, yes, you might be able to take some profit when it runs. But, for people who've been here, I've been buying, I've been in AMC before the run. And so I know what you're talking about. Yes, you could make money. But again, unless you sell, right, none of the people sold. I didn't sell at the top. I sell, thank goodness, I sell down at around $50 before the whole shenanigans. But I took profit back then, thank goodness, because if I hadn't found Moran's, I would not have, I would have went back in and lose everything that I had, because when he issued ABED, that's when I knew it's like, this guy is not for retail. And he's out there, I'm talking about Adam Aaron here, okay? This is how I was, because when I invested in that company, I went all in at one point. In my portfolio, I had my Roth IRA at the time, of course, not all of my asset over, obviously, but the money that I had was in AMC, all of it. Because I believe it. I believe it was the same thing, the same narrative that you're telling me right now. Oh, it's the same thing. AMC is cheaper and all that stuff, right? The same narrative. But thank goodness, I come to my senses when Adam Aaron issued APE, And Ape was going to be the thing that, oh, it's going to, cuffs ID and all that BS crap, right? And nothing come fruition. Like, I make a video about it too. Like, if you go back to my old video, like 6-7 months or even 11 months ago, I talked about how the reverse stock split and the Ape was not good for retail, and it has been true, right? How much down have you been already, right? Unless you just started the position over here, right? It's ridiculous. You see this? And this is when Ape was issued or something or announced. Yeah, I mean, look, we all know over here, Lionel knows, I know what AMC is. And I know you're sold on this company for whatever reason. You think that they have $1 billion and all that stuff. That's great, but we could take a look at it together if you wanted to. Let's see. Okay, so I disagree with you on this one. I have to, because again, like, night and day. But I hope you're right. Okay. But I'm in GME all the way. $6 billion in debt, not 8. Okay, 6 billion is 6 billion. What's the difference between 8 billion and 6 billion? Come on. And how long do you think it's gonna take them to pay that off, right? With the amount of money that they're making. And when AMC refinanced the loan out, a few more years. Okay, all right. But guess what? GME has that already. Why do you think it's way better, more potential than GME? GME already did that, right? And have $1.2 billion in the bank. The leadership has never diluted GME shareholder, right? So by that token alone, and how much more dilution did you need to go to that point? I don't know. GME is not bankruptcy. It's not in danger of bankruptcy anymore. Maybe for a few years you might be right, but again, they need more shares. They need more money from shareholders. So unless you have more money to pour in, but nobody's gonna buy it. I'm not gonna buy it. Okay. Has diversified. He sold. He doesn't even own any shares, Harry. He doesn't. It's like, look at the inside ownership. It's ridiculous. I mean, he could say all he wants, that, oh, he's on the same boat, he's all of that. But if you believe that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break your heart, but I really, But hey, you seem to be very knowledgeable about AMC. I get that. I just have a different opinion on the leadership, the direction of the company. Is it going to be bankrupt? Well, look at this. So this is not coming from me, okay, Harry? Look. Almond Z score. What does that say? Right? Working capital. They don't hardly have any working capital to do anything. Hardly anything. Net cash. Look at the net cash. $8.2 billion in the negative. Total debt. Yes. Corporate debt, $6 billion. But their total debt, okay, is $9 billion. Okay. Now, I think 2020 they have to pay back $2 billion or something. Let's take a look at it together. So you have 2 years to make $2 billion to pay back that covenant, right? Loan covenant or something like that. And is it a senior note or something? Why am I talking about AMC? Like, I'm not even in it. But anyway, like, I just want to see how people. I know Harry's like very knowledgeable about it. Of course, like I hope you're right. I hope you're right. But I just have no energy to argue with you because I'm apparently dumb, stupid, right? Very uneducated about this company. Okay, let's do that. Senior notes right here, 5%, 5.1%. Total repurchase. Okay, so this is not the most recent one. Hold on. Let me go back here. Can't even. Oh. Okay, so I don't see the most recent one. I wonder why. Maybe the annual is the one that showed me that. For some reason, I couldn't pull that out, but let me see. I want to show you the 2016. They have something to pay off, and it was like $2 billion or something. See all of this stuff right here? That's debts. Carry. So from here to here. And then they had this olden due. See, it's due. So they're not completely going to pay off the debt. They're just servicing it, right? So yes, so long as they are able to service the debt, yes, sure, they will be able to. Oh, right here, boom. $3 billion. So by 2026, they have to pay $3 billion. Okay? So what's that? So you think they're gonna make that much in 3 years? I doubt it. And this is why it's so egregious. This is why they shorted so much, is because there's no way that they could do it unless somebody buy it outright, you know. And even then, you have to go through leadership for that, and you just can't because they're not designed for that. You see, when retail owned most of this company, what did they do? They got retail out. They make ape in order to oust retail. And so what made you think they're not gonna do that again? Even if retail owned 5 times of this company, they will find a way to gut you out, right? And that's what leadership has been doing. Yes, to save their own ass, to save the company, but not shareholder. You see what I mean? So I hope you realize that. But I know you've been typing here, so I'll read it just out of respect. But anyway, I hope you're right about this company. But I'm not liking this at all. Seeing the fact that they need $3 billion in 2026, so in about a year and a half or so. You look at your from the stance, no money in your pocket. You should have looked from the standpoint of the money coming in potentially from COVID. Okay. You have no vision for the business. Be more. Okay. I have no vision for the leadership, not the business itself. Do you realize Cinemark makes more money than AMC? And AMC have twice as movie theaters as Cinemark. So that's the perspective. It's not the business itself, it's the leadership, right? Because if leadership is shitty, like Adam Aaron, in my opinion, right? I have my own opinion. Then, if you really believe in the business, Cinemark should be the one that you own, right? Go to Cinemark and look at their balance sheets, look at their 10K, look at their earnings, look at what they're doing. And they were able to do that without diluting the shareholders. Do you realize that? And so if you think this is the greatest potential of your life, then I hope you don't put all in, at least have some in GME, right? Just to balance it out. But that's all I could tell you. So, but anyway, so I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you. I'm kind of sidetracked here. So, but yeah, to say that I'm not knowledgeable about this, it's not completely true. I learn about this a lot. That's why I'm in GME and not AMC. You see what I mean? So, I hope I convince you, but if not, I have no qualms about you, putting money into AMC at all. I just think that they are run by a leadership that doesn't care about shareholder at all. So, and doesn't matter how many times shareholder has been bailing him out. Just listen to his earnings call. A couple of days ago, he was blaming retail. He was blaming everybody except himself and leadership, right? And so, I don't like leadership like that, right? Think about it. Ryan Cohen doesn't even speak, and I'm like, oh, and you might have problems with that. But I really think that, because Ryan Cohen is not there to fluff anything, right? He's not there to blame anyone. He's not there to, to scam anyone, in my opinion, right? And he's there to operate a better business, right? And he's doing it right now, right in front of your face, and you don't really take a note because all you care about is AMC, right? Because you think AMC is better than GME, right? That's your words. So I disagree. All right, let me move on. But again, I'll take my time to read all of this. So I appreciate you, Harry. But I'm gonna move on from that. I spent too much time on this. Hi, Sean. Thank you. Okay, be more. Garbage. Yes. It's a disgusting feeling after one night. I know. Like some people are very passionate about this, so that's why I'm trying not to kind of tell people it's trash and all that stuff. But I'm coming from, remember, Sean, I used to be an investor in AMC as well, and when I watch Marantz for the first time, it doesn't feel good when people say it's garbage and all that stuff. And honestly, those type of verbiage would not have convinced me, right? What would have convinced me is people going through the balance sheets and all that stuff and really explain to me how AMC is a bankrupt company based on the number, right? And so that's what I respond as well. And that's what opens my eyes. And also, too, what great about Moran's video that kind of opened my eyes was the fact that he lay out on how important leadership is. And I understood that pretty well. And so I'm hoping, Harry's going to come to that senses. But if he has the vision of AMC doing amazing things, then yes, I support that. I just disagree with the company that he goes to support and the leadership as well. So Adam Aaron is not a good leadership, to say the least, right? Just based on the business standpoint, right? Because remember, he's been there, decades already. And if he really makes this company great, it would have been a lot better than it is today, right? And the fact that they're bigger than Cinemark and Cinemark makes more money, that is eye-opening too. And also too, they do have debt as well. Cinemark has debt, and they did pay them off. And if you're okay with $6 billion in debt, then you should be much better with, $2 billion for Cinemarks, right? And so through and through, Cinemarks is a better, operating better than AMC. And so, I'm going to move on from that. Okay, John is already a company. Why not AMC go bankrupt? Right, yeah, true. Because leadership, doesn't matter how much reputations you have as a company, operating in a long term. When you have terrible leadership coming to gut the company, right? Now, of course, they would love you to think that is a conspiracy, like bad intent and all that stuff, but you could see it throughout the balance sheets here. All the shareholders are whining and a bunch of babies, okay? No, it's not. It's not that, Save the company from bankruptcy. Okay. Yes, for himself, not for shareholder. That's like... And he lied to shareholder too. Well, in your opinion, I'm sure you love AA here, so there's nothing I could say that will convince you. And so I wish you luck, though, Harry. I wish you luck. So my hope is that at some point you're gonna take a look at this investment and learn from it, right? And I hope that you have GME as well along with it. So if you're telling me that both are good company and you have some in GME, then okay, I feel a little bit better. But there are some people who are just, I'm all into AMC. I'm all in AMC, right? That is what I'm scared of. So, okay, let me move on. So today is a wonderful day in the neighborhood of the Gamestop world, right? Sorry, got a little worked up here. So yesterday was a good trading day. It was a surprise to me. I was totally expected to go down. I had a buy order over here at around like $14 or so. And I was just an off chance, like, okay, let me try to grab it at 14, right? So I'm so glad that I was able to grab about 15 shares of GME over here at 14. I was proud of myself too. I was like, ooh, before the run, right? I don't even know if that's, but anyways, I'm nibbling a little bit at a time here. Now, again, this is a long-term investment for me, of course, like, I do learn how to trade on this as well. I mean, if you watch my channel, I have many different accounts out there. So, I have an option account, swing trading account, and a long-term account. So that's my strategy on this company. Of course, like, my most investment is in GME, but it's not all of my portfolio here. So, and also too, I have my 401k. So other than the 401k that is kind of work stuff, I have my own self-directed account, so to speak, right? So let's put it that way. And so most of my self-directed account is now in GME because I believe it in. I think it's due for a run within this couple of years or so. And so I'm here for it, and I think this is the bottom, right? I'm hoping. Not saying it's gonna keep running from here at all. But the price action from yesterday was kind of like, ooh, it feels good to see, right? Especially, when it's been dragging down for so long. And, Harry might have a point there that AMC might run along with it as well, just to confuse people, right? To make AMC, to be the focal point again. Because remember, when GME run and during the thick of it, right? People always say, oh, this is going to be like AMC, GME, the same thing. And it's like there's a point to tether these two together. And so, but, fundamentally, you can't beat GME at all. So where I think the price is going to come from here? Who knows? I've been wrong about this price for a long time, but again, who cares, right? I'm a long-term investor. So I'm just nibbling at a time, little at a time. So the price point, of course, it is what it is. But I wanted to take a look at this article right here. So there's been a running themes in my brain, right? That at some point these people are gonna flip the script, right, on GME. And just like the same way that they're flipping the script on Bitcoin, right? Remember, a couple years ago, even during the FTX and all that stuff, even before that, the narrative about Bitcoin was that it's not a good investment, right? The big talking heads out there, there's JP Diamonds and there Larry Fings and, all of those big institutions, people that are managing big money, quote unquote, they all comes out and say, famously, Jamie Dimon's coming out and say, if I find anyone who works for me buying Bitcoin, they would get fired, right? Something like that. And it's just presenting a very negative sentiment. And those sentiment could be flipped, just like now. Everywhere you go, oh, Bitcoin goes to $200,000 a coin. Oh, Bitcoin could run to the all-time high and all that stuff, right? Those sentiment could be flipped at moment's notice. And the reason why is because they've been accumulating, right? Now that they have most power or most ability to manipulate the Bitcoin price, because people have been flowing into the ETF, right? BlackRock and, all of the major ones. So now they have more control over it. And so the media just, again, like playing the role in pumping the price of Bitcoin now, because they have most of it. They have most control over it. And they feel like they could, manipulate the price down and up at will. Of course, there's still, massive amount of people who know what Bitcoin is, and they held it themselves instead of giving it to BlackRock to custody it, right? And that's the whole point, is that when you have the ETF, you could really manipulate the price up and down, right? The reason why they haven't flipped the script yet is because they don't control too much of GME yet, right? The institution. But my thought is that they're going to do that. They're going to have to, at some point, buy in order to, gain control over the price of GME. Currently, because most retail owns this already, and so it's pretty difficult to do that without, causing the price to go berserk. And so I'm sure they've been accumulating small amount at a time in order to, have enough to cover, so to speak. And that's why, there's a concerted effort to kind of draw the volume away from GME, my opinion, right? And, you have people coming over here believing AMC is better than GME type thing, right? The narrative and all that stuff. And then you have the meme coin, right? The GME. Sorry, my voice. Let me take a sip of water. But anyway, so that's just my thought. But anyway, so this article is pretty refreshing to me, because now they're like, oh, a look at GME valuation. Is the stock too expensive, right? So the fact that they're kind of like switching from, first laughing at people who think that GME is undervalued, like full on attacking them, it's like, oh, you're stupid for thinking that, to now question it. So again, the narrative seems to shift a little bit here, right? Not to the full pledge yet, right? Because again, they don't want people to pay attention to it too much. They still have to pee poo poo it, right? Somehow, in my opinion. And so that's good. Remember, there's a saying, it's like first they attack you, first they laugh at you, first they fight you, then you win, right? Type thing. Let's see. So some of GME current metric, including enterprise value / sell, suggest that the stock is undervalued. Okay, there you go. So that's the sentiment flip right there, right? Flip the script. While others suggest that GME is currently too expensive. So they're kind of presenting both sides here. So this is what I like, right? At least give me the facts. Give me the facts. Don't fluff anything. Give me all of it. And then, thanks to the company unorthodox management, investors should not value GME quite like other stocks. So this is the shift in narrative, right? So, okay, maybe there's something unorthodox about this that you shouldn't be evaluated as like something like, make sure to think that this company is special, right? It's not a way. It's not something that you should be kind of like straightforward, right? But it's pretty straightforward in my opinion, right? But they have to kind of put some doubt into it, right? They can't give us like all the good stuff yet. Because again, like to me, this is pretty fair in my opinion, right? With the slight hint of negativity. Assessing GME valuation could be a challenge due to the disconnect between the recent stock performance and the company's underlying business fundamental. The stocks movement has been driven by significant interest from retail investor and pressure from short seller. So on both sides, right? Because currently, in GME anyway, of course, I don't know about AMC because, Harry over here probably could tell you much better than me. But in my opinions right now, we're fighting the short sellers. And of course, in my opinion, it's only a small group of hedge funds out there that are shorting GME, right? And so retail has been winning, right? But they haven't been, rewarded yet. It's just like we're waiting for the reward at some point, right? If you invest in this company for the squeeze, obviously, right? But for me, it's more than that. However, if you focus on the valuation, multiple serious important point can be established. Okay, so this is the metric that they're given, right? So one is the PE ratio. Obviously, we're still not making money positive, net positive yet. But when we're becoming net positive, which is why I think they put this article ahead of time, because we're due for one, right? And so whether we could achieve a full profitable year, meaning quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of it has to be positive. Then people are going to pull money in, right? The big money I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like retail or anything like that. Because we all know retail don't move the stock, right? They want you to think that retail is in control, but really it's the institution out there. And so the script will be flipped when the institution have an eye on it and at least accumulate as much as they can before the run, right? And so all you have to do is just wait until that happens. And that's why it's so juicy, right? When you detect the trend, before ahead of like massive amount of people, that's when you see your portfolio go up in price and you're going crazy, right? Now I'm not saying it's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars over here. To me, 10x from here is like enormous already, right? It'd be more money than I could ever imagine making, right? It would be sweeter to get a 100x. That would be a lot more, but a lot. It's like, I made it in life type thing. But I'm just saying, like, you know, you have to be patient enough to make that gain. And I'm sure, you know, they're gonna try to kind of kill the momentum best they can. And it would happen in stage, you know, buying those shares back, and so that they could be in control again of this company. And I'm sure Ryan Cohen, you know, will still be the leader here, because again, hey, he's a money-making machine over here, and people don't realize this yet until, you know, he's proven to them, and we saw that, you know, 3 years ago, right? For people who've been here even before me, I was here after the run, so just to give you the perspective here. But anyway, so let's go through this one as well. So of course, like the gap here, forward PE ratio, they're saying it's way overvalued over here, because see, the industry or the sector median should be around 16 or so. So, you know, in comparison, you know, some metric here, because of the fact that we don't make money yet, meaning the net income is in the negative, therefore, you know, you see this valuation being an F score. So F is bad, right, if you think about the grade here. So of course, overall, it's a D plus. That's what they're saying. So some value, like this one right here, if you look at the enterprise versus sell, it's an A minus. Wait, that's an A plus. Sorry. A minus or plus? Shoot, I can't even see. Too small. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. Oh man, you can't even. Sorry. Most boring live stream ever. Let's say that's A minus. So if you compare that to the sector median, it's 1.2, but we are even better. So meaning that our enterprise value is higher than the sell value. So undervalued, so to speak, right? So the same way enterprise is undervalued, there you go. Median sector is average on 1 point whatever, right? So meaning that their enterprise value is actually lower than the sell, while GME enterprise value is higher than the sell. And of course, like that depends on the asset, liability, and all that stuff, right? So this one, of course, EBITDA, that's kind of related to earnings. So once we have positive earnings, we will have a better score right there, right? Instead of F, it might turn into C or B even, right? That's what I'm hoping, right? And that's when the script will be flipped, because this thing will change based on the earnings every single quarter. Let's see, the same way with this one as well. Of course, like I want this score to be a lot higher than this one, because this is what I guess Warren Buffett says, that these EBITDA right here is mumbo jumbo because it accounted too much, like the tax and amortizations and some other deductible thing. That is privileged, right? The EBIT is actually a better metric to go by. So we want this to be a lot lower. So we're trying to be 13.86, right? Currently we're 67. So I have no problem. We could beat that within a couple quarters here. Price to sell. This has surprised me, because like price to sell right now, of course, like we're already beating the median sector, right? and we're gonna be like A plus right here pretty soon. This also surprised me too because it says 3.3. So let's see 3.3 real quick, because that's the book value. Of course, the price went up this past few days, so the book value might be a little bit different there. So let's look at it real quick. So right now it's still at 4 point whatever, but so the book value is shareholder equity, right? Divided by, so that's $1.2 billion right there, divided by the market cap. So if you do that, 0.5, yes. So 26. Wait, am I doing this right? 26%. No, 27%. Hold on. Oh, okay. 26% of this one. So let's do 25% of the price right here. What is that? Okay, so it's $4. But they have us on over there. $4. Am I? Yeah, so 28% of $15 is 4.17. So they have us at 3. So we are even higher than this. So this should be B, right? I don't know what the metric here, but it should be higher than C minus here. Because it's not 3, it's 4 right now. Of course, if the price, let's say, double tomorrow, we're going to be at 2 or something like that. So just be mindful too. Perhaps they were accounted for this one way before. I don't know. Last earnings? What's the price for last earning? Hold on. Yeah, maybe they accounted for that like way over here when we were $18 or something like that. So yeah, those type of thing fluctuate, so just be careful on that one. Price to cash flow, it's D minus right here, so we want to be 9. So currently we are at 28. So cash flow, if you look at the cash flow right there, price to cash flow, we might have a better price to cash flow. Let me see. Price to cash flow. Cash flow is 100. Okay, so cash flow 100 million right there. Price 100 million. So if you do that math right there, you do 0.5 billion divided by 0. Oops. 0. So that's $106 million. So currently it's 42. So it's even a little bit higher. But again, this is 1 quarter. Okay. Hold on, let me see if it's a trailing 12 or quarter. Yeah, still cash flow. So we're a little bit higher there on that number. So instead of 28, it's now 40, right? So we need to iron that out, obviously. And so like some valuation or some numbers is higher than other or lower than others. So again, like it depends on the price fluctuation. But all in all, though, at the very least, this article kind of give me the impression that they are flipping the script, right, slowly. And they just want people to look at that, hey, this is not a meme stock anymore. And so that's when you gain the legitimacy of the institution out there that would want to invest money into GME. And that's when the price appreciation happen, is when the institution out there that are not shorting the company saying, hey, GME is actually a good company to own. The pension fund owners out there, hey, GME is actually a good company to buy, because they make money, because they have good leadership, because, whatever. And so they're not going to sit on the sideline, in my opinion, right? And it's soon. It's within a couple years here. So count yourself lucky that you see this live stream right now, right? If not, hey, you watch this 5 years from now, you'll be like, oh, how did this person know? Well, I like to thank Moran's Rants. Okay, so there you go. That's the person that you should be like listening to. And if you love AMC, please, Harry, listen to Moran's Rants, please. So he does a much better job at dismantling AMC as a company, as a leadership, as everything. That investment is not good for you. But if you believe in it, kudos to you. If you have some vision that I don't see about AMC, then kudos to you. But I hope you're right, for your sake. Okay, so yes, I hope. So this is just a recount of what we went through here, in words anyway. So I'm not gonna waste too much time on that. But yeah, if you want to read this article, I'll link down below too, so you could. Here, let me put that here so you could read it later on if you like. Let's see. What else is going on? Of course, I was watching Moran's Rants right there. Okay, Harry, if you've never heard of Moran's Rants, this is the guy. This is the guy. Go to his channel and watch all of this, because this is amazing. Like, this guy has been telling people what this investment is. The investment that you think is going somewhere. You might not like him, but please listen to his balance sheets and all that stuff. That what opens my eyes, a couple years back. All right. Okay, Manuel, thank you. Sorry, I went off there. AMC may not go bankrupt if Adam Aaron continue to dilute and keep doing the reverse stock split. Yes, but you need the support of shareholders, right? And so eventually, of course, like, to me, retail has been running out of money. Like, we used to have more money. Yes, we might be able to move the stock a little bit, but not by much. And now, people don't have the same amount of money when 3 years ago, because of an inflation, because of high cost of living and all that stuff. Like, I barely have, money leftovers at the end. I'm just lucky enough that I don't have any rent to pay and all that stuff. So I'm taking full advantage of that. But, I also know that, my paycheck, even though it's a little bit higher, it doesn't cover, like, my insurance just went up and all that stuff. So high cost of living and all that stuff is kind of a big factor in that. So even if people want to support AMC, it's never going to be enough money for Adam Aaron not to sell, a backdoor dealing with whoever, right? Famously, obviously, I know about Antera and all that stuff. That pissed me off. Thank goodness I sold before the APE was issued. And yeah, the only regret that I have is not finding, Moran's channel before that. So, and I'm thankful too that I'm kind of, found GME at this price point. This company is much more than anyone, I don't know. I just feel like it has a better business model. I mean, if you have a vision in gaming industry and all that stuff, it's bigger than the movie industry, you know. And so, if you don't think that that GME is better than AMC by now, I think it's light year away too, because they don't have debt. You know, no corporate debt. There's no like, you're not beholden to the bond holders out there, right? Or senior notes holders. You know, people that would make decision for the common stock holder out there, or common shares holder out there. You know, and also to the fact that leadership has been buying into the same float as shareholder. That's like that alone could tell you, you know, tells you a lot about leadership here, that they're not gonna dilute shareholder because they hold the same class of share here. While AMC, you know, they have different class of shares, and it's evidence, right? You have APE, you have preferred shared units or something like that, or equity share, something like there's a different class of shares out there. And so, yeah, I mean, you can't compare the two, you know, you can't. Okay, I think I'm in here for over an hour. My voice is going crazy for some reason. But thanks to Harry, though, you know, at least you're showing you're passionate about this company. But I think you're wrong about AMC. Yeah, that's all I have. Seems like I'm preaching to the choir here. Okay, just want to make sure there's no other chat here. But again, Harry, I'm gonna take some time to read all of this at my own time, and if I have anything to address, I will come back and address it. But I do appreciate your time, though. So, all right, thank you. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.